Impressed by Todd's willingness to really initiate and steward the culture around this team, and music is going to be playing a very large part. I'm really excited about our partnership to be able to design and program the music experiences for the first 3 seasons of NHL Seattle. Please give a warm welcome to Todd Lewicki.
I apologize to all of the great ballrooms and meeting rooms in the city for not doing this event. We would have had this nowhere else but our home, KXP. So good morning to everyone. On behalf of David Bonderman and our fantastic ownership group, we're so pleased to be here today. Somebody said earlier, you're going to make a little history, and I think Ron and I are, because we're the only 2 guys to ever show up at KXP in a tie. And I'm wearing my fleur-de-lis tie, by the way, in honor of Ron. But I want to just call out a few folks. I want to call out first one of my bosses, David Wright, our vice chair, who's just been such a fantastic leader and jumped in early on. Next to him is Jay Deutsch, my other boss, and so we'll try and make you guys proud today. Thanks for being here. Mayor Durkin is here, our incredible leader. Deborah Juarez, who, without your work, perhaps we're not here today. So thank you so very much. Senator Carlisle, thank you so much for being here. We talked about Robert Nellums earlier. He's our day-to-day landlord, and he's just done such a spectacular job of ushering this project along. Marshall Foster is often his partner in crime. I'm not sure if Marshall's here, but he was not only a deal maker, but a deal facilitator. Pete von Reichbauer is a great friend. He's here today. Jeannie Cole is here. Welcome. This is your district. And you should be here, because this is really, feels to me like this is a bit of a historic announcement. And we're really here today because we endeavored to do something different. And we feel the pieces are here to build something that is truly unparalleled in sports. And there's really some special pieces here. And I start first with the arena. We always acknowledge our fans. And then today we're going to talk about our team. And special indeed is this brand new, beautiful building. And it really started in 2017, where the city said, let's try one more time. And they issued an RFP. And it was my brother's company, OVG, who had the courage, who had the guile, who had the daring idea that we could actually take that building right next door and build an entirely new arena under a historic roof. And not only do that for our city, but do that for this campus in Seattle Center. And in true partnership with the city, we are now building what we believe will be one of the most beautiful arenas in the entire world. That's not something we could have said 3 or 4 years ago, but in fact, it's revealing itself, and that's how it's revealing itself. I pause and salute the men and women who are working the trades. We have members of the union here today. They're building this arena. And when we're done, we will all know that we're going to deliver to this community unparalleled, unbelievable experiences in both sports and music. And that is special. Second on my special list are our fans, 32,000 depositors in one single day. Never before in the history of sports, no one would have ever thought it, but they were there day one, and they told the world that we're ready to be a hockey city.
Koepka
now 25,000 people are in line to become depositors. They are the wind in the sails of this franchise and always will be. And then our team. We're so proud to be the NHL's 32nd franchise. Proudly Seattle while representing the entire Pacific Northwest. Our Northgate project is going to be second to none. D1. D5, sorry. That project has the potential to be the finest training center in the entire NHL, but we know for sure it's going to be the epicenter of ice sports in the Pacific Northwest, and we're so excited. And Ron, I promised him it will be ready by training camp. So the pieces are here for this team. There's the franchise being granted, there's Northgate, and then a few weeks ago we announced that we've applied for the American Hockey League team in Palm Springs. So we're feeling as though we're a little blessed to be able to tell Ron Francis, hey, you might be spending part of your winter with the American Hockey League team in Palm Springs. OVG right in the heart of downtown Palm Springs. And so this momentum we feel is so significant. it was really time to turn our sights to the general manager position, and perhaps the most important hire we'll ever make. And ownership made an incredible commitment, not just David Bonderman, but Jay and David and others, in supporting this idea that let's do this a year early, because if we're really here working for our fans, let's reward their belief. And so they said, we're willing to make this commitment a year early. We're willing to bring a general manager on earlier than any other expansion team in the history of the NHL. And that gift of an additional year will serve us well. It'll give us a chance to scout and build and plan. But we had to find the right person. And we knew this was not a normal general manager's job. There are unique challenges, so you have to find just the right person. Those challenges include building out not just one team in the NHL, but that second team in the American Hockey League. Building out 100% high-performance staff. We've added great people. Alex is here today, but we've got to build what we hope is going to be the best staff in the league with evaluators and innovators and coaches and medical and training and strategists. We need to build that new training center, and our general manager's fingerprints should be all over it. Lance Lopes has led, but this is a key piece. We need to build out the team brand, and yes, Mayor, he will weigh in on the team name, okay? So you now have somebody else to speak to about that. He needs to set us up for the defining moment of an expansion draft where we're going to pick the team in about an hour and a half. We're going to spend a lot of money that day. We need to be ready, but ultimately we need to be ready leading up to the epic puck drop where we become the NHL's 32nd franchise in October of 2021. Last January, we retained a search firm because we were going to do this right. We were intent on finding the right person, and they really helped us identify 6 criteria. First, an experienced leader and a team builder. Second, a relentless worker. This is going to be hard work. Third, a visionary who understood that there's new competitive advantages coming by way of analytics and technology, and we wanted somebody who, especially in Seattle, who had that skill set. Someone with established relationships across the NHL, someone with a keen understanding of how the cap and the draft worked, and ultimately, somebody who could evaluate players. Over 7 months, we did our due diligence. Bondo, Jerry Bruckheimer, Andy Jazzy, Len Potter, and others jumping in, scores of conversations, evaluations, prospective candidates, interviews, and along the way, we got to know a guy named Ron Francis. We knew him, and I reacquainted myself with him, Ron, as the player. So let me just give you a few highlights, because this could go on for a couple hours, but I'll keep it short. But Ron Francis is a player, grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, and there's a photograph, I think, that'll come up of Ron and Little Nipper dreaming someday of playing in the NHL. Ron went on and was drafted number 4 overall by Hartford and went and played in the league as an 18-year-old. A few weeks before his 22nd birthday, he was named the team captain, which is truly extraordinary. Ron went on to become the ultimate consistent player, a two-way player who set records that were unparalleled. He went on to play 23 seasons in the NHL, a decade in Hartford, 7 seasons in Pittsburgh, 5 seasons in Carolina, and then a few months in Toronto. But Hartford, Pittsburgh, Carolina, he put up numbers that were unheralded in the NHL. Second, only behind Wayne Gretzky in all-time assists, and in hockey, assists count the same as goals. 5th in career points, 4th in games played, and perhaps my favorite statistic, those 3 teams, he was the captain of those teams. 14 seasons across 3 teams, his players and coaches selected him the captain. It's an incredible honor to receive the Lady Byng, which is the sportsmanship award in the NHL. Ron received it 3 different times, 95, 98, and 2002. He won the Stanley Cup twice in Pittsburgh. He took Carolina late in his career to the finals. And on November 12th, 2007, Ron Francis was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. An extraordinary record. But that was just half of it. We then got to know him as an executive. And after the 23-year playing career, his beautiful wife might have said it's time to take a break, but he started his second career, and he jumped in. And he went from a development guy, developing players, all the way to the general manager's office in a short period of time. In 2006, he was appointed director of player development. 2007, he became the assistant general manager. In 2008, he moved back behind the bench, and he spent 3 years serving as the associate head coach of the Carolina Hurricane. In 2011, he moved back to the front office and was eventually promoted in 2014 to the general manager's role. In Carolina, he carefully laid a foundation of how to move that franchise forward, not just with the NHL, but with the AHL. He managed a franchise that was dealing with tight budgets and below salary cap spending in a non-traditional market. He did it by incorporating different viewpoints and decision makings, and he was really one of the early adopters of analytics. Over the 4 years, Ron's draft classes were renowned. He showed patience in team building and belief in the process, and he learned the ultimate skill as a general manager of how to build a winner with less chips. He'll bring that skill here. And then in 2018, after 4 seasons, new ownership arrived. There was a new direction, and Ron left the team. He then went back to hockey, spent the last year and a half serving Hockey Canada. He was co-GM of the Spangler Cup in 2018, and then was the executive, one of the executives leading the World Championships team this past winter. And meanwhile, back in Carolina, the Hurricanes went on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the American Hockey League team, where the future is made, the Charlotte Checkers, well, they won it all. They became the champions and won the Calder Cup this year. And we believe Ron's patience paid off, his patience in drafting. His fingerprints were all over both of those rosters. 80% of the goals scored by players he drafted. An amazing achievement. Over the past weeks, we interviewed so many executives, and there emerges a really consistent profile of Ron Francis, a Hall of Fame player who put in time to become that skilled executive, a guy who took the hard road to build through the draft, really necessitated by the economics of a non-traditional market. An extraordinary league knowledge guy and unique player talent evaluator. A team builder as a coach and a player and an executive. Relationship driven, not just with GMs, but agents alike. And ultimately a love of the game and a desire to give back to community through the game. We're going to show a short video here.
Francis in, score!
Francis shoots, he scores!
The Penguins have won the Stanley Cup!
Ron Francis,
Oh,
an
Lord
ageless
Stanley,
wonder,
Lord
continues.
Ron Francis makes everyone around him better. He is second all-time in career assists. Only NHL legend Wayne Gretzky has more.
He had the gift to pass the puck. He saw the ice so well.
He assisted on 110 of NHL great Jaromir Jagr's goals.
Probably most underrated player in NHL in history. He did everything right, not fancy or flashy.
Ron Francis is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, winning back-to-back Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh in 1991 and 92.
Look at some of the players you had in that lineup. Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr was 18 at the time. As a result, we were able to do a lot of good things on the ice.
Francis played the game the right way, winning 3 Lady Byng trophies.
I took a lot of pride in playing a 200-foot game with good sportsmanship. That was kind of my way of playing the game.
As a player, Francis was known for his hockey IQ.
He was so smart, he anticipated way ahead in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas.
Francis captained 3 teams in 14 of his 23 NHL seasons.
What I really appreciated was his leadership in the dressing room. Whether you're a fourth-line guy or a first-line guy, whether you're a sixth defenseman or a number 1 defenseman, he somehow kept everybody together on the same page.
Francis worked his way up in the Carolina Hurricanes organization over 12 years and was named general manager in 2014. He drafted star center Sebastian Aho and signed team captain Justin Williams as a free agent, both key performers in the playoffs. He extended the contracts of young defensemen Jacob Slavin and Brett Pesce. Both are considered top deals.
His teammates looked up to him just because of the man he is. He will continue to have success in the game. He has that work ethic, he has that dedication, the understanding of the game. Talk about hockey smarts.
Ron Francis was born for this job. He knows what it takes to win the Stanley Cup. He is the right leader at the right time in the right city.
Mayor. This is the right city, and we're so thrilled because it was your city that recruited Ron here, so take it away.
That's terrific. First, thank you, Todd, for that. Thanks for everyone for being here. KXP, great thing, but where was the walk-on music for Todd Lewicki? We got to work on that. Thank you for everyone for joining us today. It is such a thrill to be here, to look at what's happening with that arena, to be with all the people that made it possible, but to actually be able to introduce the person I get to introduce. Ron, you are going to love Seattle. I love the line out of this that says, you know, he's a guy that's not flashy. That's Seattle. We're not flashy, but we get it done. Today is especially a great day for Seattle, and we are that city that dreams big and then just goes about and does it. If you think about Seattle and its roots and its heritage, a guy named Bill Boeing thought we could do aircraft better, and now those planes fly all over the world, built by the best workforce anywhere in the world. Then we had the thought that maybe you could book them online, and we invented that. Thing after thing, we dream big, and we expect big. But we've got some patience. Now, I never got to play hockey. In this job, I feel like I do it every day without pads sometimes. But I also know that with this team commitment to the best, to putting together a team that actually can build the team to win, we have such a fine sports heritage in this city. Last weekend, I had the great honor to go to center court and stand with Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird. It's amazing. And our hockey team is going to excel at that level. I love that you had 2 Stanley Cups. We don't expect the third the first season, maybe. But welcome to Seattle. We have something we want to give you.
Come on up here, Ron.
Come on up, Ron. Ron Francis will be the right leader at the right time, and we're just thrilled to have you here. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Seattle.
Good morning. I certainly appreciate you all taking time out of your busy day to be here. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think I want to start by thanking David Bonneman and the entire NHL Seattle management team. A couple of those guys are here today, Dave and Jay, and this is just a great opportunity. I'm absolutely humbled to be the first GM of this franchise. My family and I are really excited to embark on this new chapter in our life. I've heard so many great things about Seattle. We're looking forward to putting some roots down and getting involved in the community. We've heard nothing but great things about it, and we're looking forward to that opportunity as well. Really excited to partner with this gentleman right here. I think you've all who've got to know him understand that he does exceptional work, and he does that exceptional work while still maintaining solid core values, and to me, those are 2 important things. I think Todd and I share the same vision and passion, and that is to bring a world-class organization and a world-class team to our fans, the city of Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, and honestly, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say globally. That's our goal. And how about our fans? I think when the NHL challenged the ownership here to come up with 10,000 season ticket deposits, our fans absolutely responded. 12 minutes. 12 minutes, they get 12,000 season ticket deposits. Continued to build 25,000 in the first hour, and then went on to do 32,000 by the end of the day. And that doesn't include a separate list with 25,000 other names on it. When that happened, the hockey world took notice, and Seattle no longer became a question mark. People understood that this was a hockey market, and it was a hockey market with a lot of passionate fans. And I certainly look forward to working with and for our fans to build a championship team. Thank you very much.
We're gonna take some questions from the media in a moment, but we had a few people here who have been a part of our journey who just wanted to give you some gifts. So Jana Actually, John Barr, you coming up first? Come on. Come on, Jana. Come on up here. Jana is my friend, and she's done a couple of press conferences with me, and she really, Ron, represents the future, and I think she wants to present something to you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to say anything to Ron?
Thank you for coming to Seattle. I'm excited that you've come and done this.
And you want to be in that picture someday, right? Cool.
Get you in that picture. Awesome. Let's move away from you. Right here. All right. You good? Thank you. All right. You take that with you. Okay, thanks.
John Barr. This is a guy who, I said earlier, like a dog on a bone, wasn't going to give up until the NHL came to Seattle. He's a unique guy. John?
Thank you.
On behalf of the Seattle hockey fans, I want to welcome you to Seattle. Also, I'm excited to share with the world what a great sports town Seattle is, the hockey world that is, and the hockey world, what a great town we will be. I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Jim Powers, come on up here. Jim played hockey in Seattle for 8 years with the Totems, was kind of like you, but out here in Seattle working hard, and hockey lived here for a long time. Most people think we brought it. It's been here a long time. Say a few words, sir.
Well, hockey has been here for a long time, Ron, and we're very excited that is on its way back. All our dreams are coming true, and we're going to be just so excited about this. This here's a little bit of history, Ron. This is the old Totems, and I don't know whether you're going to have part of naming it, but I think maybe right there, Ron.
Thank you, Jim. I talked to
I
Jim
thought he was.
earlier. I said I talked to Jim earlier. He said he was a right winger. I asked him if I threw him a couple passes, if he would have been able to bury him for me. He said, "No doubt about it. I would have got you a lot." He said.
Ron, I think we open it up to questions if that works. So, are there questions from the media we can answer? Anyone? You want to sit down or stand?
Your call.
Kevin Shockey, 950 KJR. What's the first job that you need to do hockey-wise? We haven't been able to talk a lot of hockey yet.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of things. We're starting with an organizational flow chart, trying to get everything in order that we want to do, all the different departments. I'm sure by the time I leave this press conference, my inbox will be full with a lot of resumes. We'll start going through those and put in place a hiring process as to a timeline as to when we want certain departments hired, what those departments' roles will be, and we'll hit the ground running here building a franchise.
Ron, hi. Jeff Baker of the Seattle Times. You were only out of the game for a year after leaving Carolina, and a lot of people like to take more time than that away from the game. What was the biggest selling point that got you to, leave what you were doing in Carolina business-wise and recuperation-wise and come here to Seattle?
Yeah, I didn't get cheated in my time off, Jeff. We took a family vacation to Italy for a couple of weeks with Hockey Canada. We got to spend Christmas and New Year's in Davos, Switzerland, doing the Spengler Cup, and then we were in Slovakia and Austria for a month with the World Championships. And when I was there, the passion really came back for me. And when Todd reached out to me, I came into town and kind of started talking to him. The first dinner was with him and Victor DeBonis, and got an idea of what they were trying to do. I met the staff the next day. I toured the facility, and it was absolutely incredible, the project that they're doing. And I think it's a venue that our fans and the people of Seattle are going to be extremely proud of. I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of the owners and hear their vision of what they wanted to do. And I honestly, it just became, why not? This is just going to be a fantastic opportunity. We've got a blank canvas. Sure, it's a daunting task and a lot of work, but it's a unique challenge that you don't get every day, because not every sports team starts from scratch. So I'm really excited about the challenge and looking forward to doing some good things here in Seattle.
Hi, Ron. Andy Ide with NHL.com. Speaking of that challenge, it's not every day you get to start with an expansion team. How much of a draw was that challenge?
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say it was. It's so unique, right? Like I said, there's not a lot of those opportunities out there. And talking with Todd and the owners and the vision and what they want to do for the town of Seattle and the hockey fans, there's no corners being cut. They want the best venue, they want the best team, they want the best fan experience, even with the practice facility, right? It would have been easy to build one rink, but they built 3. And the reason was it provides ice for the youth in the community to go out and skate. So it's not just about our organization, it's about doing things what's right and helping to grow that product in this market.
Mara Moat, Seattle Sports Commission. What are you bringing to the table that no other GM could provide? What's uniquely Ron Francis that can add to the unique story of Seattle hockey?
Whoa, good question. Well, I think Todd touched on the 23 years in the game. I don't think that helps me so much in this role, other than a lot of those years I was a leader, and twice I was fortunate enough to win a Stanley Cup. And I think when you win a Stanley Cup, that gives you something that other people don't have. You understand what it takes to be successful. You understand how to build that team. And it's not an easy trophy to win, but we look forward to hopefully doing that again here in Seattle.
Matt Calkins with the Seattle Times. Ron, I think the Golden Knights was kind of the dream scenario for what an expansion team can do out of the gate. Is that a fair expectation, or what do you think is a reasonable expectation, you know, when you guys get started?
Yeah, no, I used to joke you wanted to be the second GM in Seattle based on what Vegas did, but you know, I think this is an awesome opportunity. We've got some time here to really get our scouts together and get our homework done. You know, we're going to draft a good team in the expansion draft. We're going to draft good players in the amateur draft. We're going to be active in the free agent market, and I think Seattle has so much to offer. You know, it's got a great quality of life. I think we'll be one of only 6 teams in the entire league that has no state income tax. So that's going to be appealing for players to want to come and play here. And I think when you put everything together and people see what the ownership group and Todd want to build here, people are going to want to play here, and I think that's going to help us be successful.
Patrick Quinn, Como News. What do you learn, Ron, in Raleigh-Durham, kind of a non-traditional market? Obviously, we've seen the fan base in Seattle already kind of come out, but what did you learn there, leading that franchise, that you think you could bring here to build this franchise?
Yeah, no, you know, I signed there as a free agent in '98. That was the second season, and we actually commuted back and forth to Greensboro. But, you know, we had a lot of success early, and we had the draft, we had the All-Star game, and the fans really rallied behind that. So I think that's the key, is you want to put a good product on the ice, you want to treat your fans with a ton of respect, you want to give them an adventure when they come to the game that they're very proud of and they enjoy. And I think if we do all those things, and that's our plan is to do that, then you know, the fans will love it and we'll be successful. None for you.
That's fantastic.
Lydia Cruz, 710 ESPN. You mentioned hockey analytics were so important to you. How is it going to be a part of your organization on a daily basis, on a long-term basis?
Actually, both. I believe in the analytics. For me, it's a balance and check. It may be things that I'm seeing with my eyes that numbers don't back up, or they back up. That tells me something I need to look at differently potentially, and vice versa. I'm looking at numbers that maybe don't tell me what I'm seeing. I want to take a closer look at what I'm doing. And I've had a couple opportunities to spend time with Alex. She has an outstanding reputation, and I look forward to working closely with her as we move forward to building that department out.
Is Alex here? Hello, Alex, and we're very proud that we're building a different kind of organization, and so she's here because she understands analytics, but we're very proud that we're starting to build an organization with real diversity.
Yeah, John Zalanka, InsideHockey.com. You have a general manager now. What's the timeline for a coach?
I think we're open to hiring the right guy at the right time, but I think it's also important for us. We've got a little bit of runway here to make sure we take our time and go through the process. There's a, excuse me, a lot of things that can change in that profession over the next couple of years. So, excuse me, we'll take our time and make sure we get the right guy to lead the franchise. Thank you.
Any other questions?
We thought it appropriate that Ron have his first latte, and if they'll let us, you want to go over and make one? I don't think you're really a Seattleite until you have a latte, and then we can do some additional interviews one-on-one.
I am Italian.